pleasure to talk to you about this film. It's exciting enough for audiences to discover a new Star Wars story, but from your point of view, directing it, how exciting is it on a scale of 1 to 1,000?
A million?
Yes, exactly.
It was like, you know, it's difficult making a movie. You kind of end up like the characters in the film, like, you know, you're all in the trenches together fighting this, trying to achieve this insane task. And for them, it was still the Death Star plans, but for us as a group, it was to try and make a great Star Wars film. And so we had all that bond that soldiers go through in war, and yeah, we'll see what everyone thinks, but it felt like we might be able to blow up the Death Star at the end of this. It felt like we did what we needed to do.
Yeah, it's Forrest was very fun about it. It's Star Wars 3.8, episode 3.8. It's what's really fun about it is that it's a standalone film, and it will engage audiences that love Star Wars, but those who don't as well. And I suppose that was one of the
if you've never seen any of this, because it's standalone, like, and I think for people who've never seen Star Wars, it can maybe get confusing. Like George started with 4, 5, 6, then did 1, 2, 3, and then there was 7.
It's confusing enough already.
Right. And so, like, this is standalone. You don't have to have seen anything or know anything. You can go see this movie. It begins with these characters, and our movie ends, like, with the story we're telling. But it does flow into the first ever Star Wars film. So I think the biggest compliment will be people come see this movie, they watch it, and as soon as the credits roll, they want to get in their car and go home and put on the original Star Wars film and see that connection. Or get back in line and watch it again and maybe do that later. I don't mind. Either one's going to be good for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was, I suppose, was all the more fun for you guys because you had Pinewood and then you had the glamorous locations as well. So tell us a little bit about the locations. It was the Maldives, it was Iceland and Morocco.
And Jordan.
And Jordan, of course, Jordan, yes.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I'd been on holiday to all of those places and thought they were truly stunning and epic. And if I ever got to make a film one day, I'll come back here. And then during pre-production, you know, you're trying to find planets and things that haven't appeared in Star Wars before. And something that felt really right was this paradise planet for the Empire. It was like a really interesting contrast to have, you know, the dark forces of the Empire and this sort of end battle of our movie, but in this beautiful, bright, you know, aqua blue paradise. It felt like a good contrast, and also symbolically or subconsciously reflecting like the South Pacific in World War II and that sort of imagery. And George liked to use very simple ecosystems for the planets. It was either like an ice planet, desert planet, you know, jungle, and so paradise hadn't really been done, and so it just felt really good. And then, you know, the downside of that obviously is we have to go to paradise to film it. And so
it was horrible.
We suffered on desert islands in beautiful conditions with stormtroopers making Star Wars, you know.
It's horrible.
But that's why they pay us the big bucks.
Exactly. They should have paid you. There was an extra for the good locations. And were you in Wadi Rum in Jordan? Where did you film it? Because it's so spectacular there.
It was Wadi Rum, yeah. It was where they shot Lawrence of Arabia, and it was stunning. It was like another world. And the very first thing we shot was this beautiful sunrise, and we had to all go out in a convoy, and it's where they, it's the exact same spot where they shot Lawrence of Arabia, and we're going out in these convoys, it's just like out of that movie, and it was about 2 a.m, and our car broke down, and all the convoy carried on going, and it was me and the cinematographer, and we're like, oh my God, and so we jump out of the car and we start trying to push it, and we managed to get the wheels spinning, and it gets going, and then down the other side of the hill. And as it's going, it can't stop, and we run and dive in it. And then we're late, and we're trying to arrive as the sun's coming up. And we quickly run to the camera, and we're like, get in. And Felicity gets in, Diego gets in, and we start, roll, and we start filming, and we just get this take, keep going. And about 10 minutes in, we sort of go, cut, and we all look at each other, and we're like, oh my God, we're making Star Wars. And it just hit us, like, and I'm glad we didn't have time to think about it, because, you know, it felt like that very first shot we ever do in the film was going to have a lot of pressure on it, and it sort of happened by accident, because we were just in the middle of nowhere.